a school trip to Europe, and his friends had said, "Oh, come on, drink," which he did. He was then kicked off out of honor society, and they were really mad that, he was, allowed to drink. So I wrote in a letter and said, this is a teachable moment. You need to teach your son to develop a backbone. But when his peers are saying, let's do something that's not legal, that he says, no, I'm not going to do this. So things like that.
Sure. How do you feel about the activism against the pipeline that's been taking place? Do you think that enough is being done? Is too little being done? Is it the right sort of activism?
I think not enough is being done, but even if more was being done, I'm not sure that it would make a difference. So while I admire these people that have been staying in trees and chaining themselves to bulldozers, I am in full support of them. I would help them out financially with bail money if they needed it. While I have not worked at the Humane Society, one of the people who chained herself to a bulldozer is having to do community service, and there have been quite a few people who have joined her in solidarity by working at the Humane Society, Humane Shelter, which I think great. So it's a win-win. The Humane Society, shelter is getting extra hands, and the person who's, being forced to do this is knowing that other people agree with what she's done.
Absolutely.
But I would love to see more people more active, because it's with this situation. And I think other people contributed, but they're trying to study. I can think of the guy's name. Anyway, it was, I think, $20,000, and it said, you can't put this pipeline in where you're proposing because of the steep slopes and because of the cursed terrain. You're going to have erosion and sedimentation, and FERC has just said, no problem.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating with the professionals that we have employed and given us reports. The number of people that have written letters, of which I have written letters, saying, this is the science behind this. FERC has just said, no problem.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. Extremely frustrating.
I got to go out to...
It looks like it's a done deal before they even started.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy to see some of the terrain that they think that they're going to be able to get over.
Right.
Yeah. But that's interesting. How, again, going back to like the larger community picture, how do you see the community's perception of the activism? Are people warm to it? Do people think that it's kind of a crazy thing?
I think that the people in the community have been in support of the activism that has happened, but unfortunately they have, I'm guessing, that it appears that they are really happy that somebody else was doing this, but just don't ask me to do it.
Absolutely. Building off of that, are there any particular factors that you see that kind of drive people's decisions either to participate or not to participate in the actions?
Everybody's really, really busy, and since it's not in their backyard, I think that they've just taken more of a laissez-faire attitude. As I stated, and will restate, when the pipeline was coming through, with people and were highly motivated, fundraisers, raised money, had been a little rah-rah kind of activities at one of the people's homes. Once the route was moved, we have seen very little come from them. And it's a wealthy neighborhood.
Interesting. So definitely the folks that could make a lot of noise with a little bit of effort. But that is interesting. So now that it's shifted, have you noticed that folks over in like Eastern, where it's kind of taking root? Have more people from that area started participating, or is it still kind of just...
The people in Eastern are not living in $500,000 homes.
Mm.
There have been some, when somebody appears at your door, I won't say that this is a poverty area, but this is a poorer area, and maybe it's a poverty area. I don't know the homes well enough, or the areas well enough, but they don't have a lot of money. And when somebody shows up at your door and says, "I'm going to give you $10,000 if you'll give me an easement through your property," I totally understand why people there, or anywhere for that matter, say, "Wow, $10,000, sign me up."
Mm-hmm.
I can't fault them for what they've done in giving the easements. I'm sorry that they've done that, but putting food on the table and logs on the fire in the winter is really important to people, and I understand that. So I can't condemn or be mad at them for doing what they've done. I wish they wouldn't, but I understand.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a powerful attitude to have, is to be understanding in that situation.
Yeah.
Let me look over my list of questions. That actually kind of segued into the last question that I had for you. So I think that I am good on my end. Is there anything else that you would like for me to know or to be aware of how this is affecting the community, or how the actions are affecting the community?
One of the positives that I will say is I hardly ever went to a Board of Supervisors meeting or a town council meeting. It'll be interesting to see what other people said, but it's been frustrating for me that the town has not done more, but the university has not done really anything. When I've said, why haven't they come out? I mean, this is air pollution. This is, fracked gas. This is blah, blah, blah. I have heard people say, and I don't know that this is official, but I've heard people say, we get a lot of money for our petroleum engineering department from oil and gas companies. We don't want to make them mad. We don't want to say, we're against this, because then our funding may be cut. So I'm not happy about that. We've got a pretty huge endowment to not take a stand. People come to because it's so beautiful, and, no air pollution, no water pollution to speak of. It's a nice community, and for that to come out and with a strong "we are against this pipeline going through" is very disappointing to me. Somewhat understandable, but not nearly as understandable as I feel about the people who are getting the $10,000, $20,000 easements kind of thing. We have more. I'm more aware of activism because of this pipeline. Had we not done this, I'm not sure what people would be getting riled up about, other than perhaps our government. So that's been good. One of the positives is that I personally have made some very good friends from this. So that's been a real plus. I've got, to know people that believe as I believe, and are willing to work together.
Absolutely. One last question that I have for you. Do you see, now that you've participated in this, do you see yourself wanting to maybe continue participating in such actions in the future? Not necessarily against, but other things that might come up.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
As I have said, I don't have a resume anymore. I am retired, so if I go to jail, who the hell cares? It's not like you. If you have a felony on your record, are you going to be hired? Kind of thing. So perhaps you don't want to put yourself in that situation, but for us older people, like I say, who the hell cares?
You can take a few more risks. That's a really awesome attitude.
Yeah, we can take more risks because it's not going to influence us.
Yeah, that's a really